Hi, I'm John from Just Whiskey. If you like today's show, please give it a high five, thumbs up, like, and subscribe, like Henry does. And thanks to all the subscribers and especially the Patreons that help support this channel. And if you'd like to become a Patreon, please visit the link in the description below. And remember, folks, it's just whiskey. And today it's just whiskey and just Henry. And last time you saw Henry, he had the bonnet over his head. And he's all well healed. And he's just going to chill out in my lap while I do this review. Today, we are going to be talking about and reviewing the brand new Talisker 11 2022 Diageo special release. This is a cask strength, and they label it as natural cask strength. So I'm assuming natural cask strength means no chill filtering and no coloring, although they don't go into that specific descriptor. So the Talisker 11 2022 Diageo, it's got the jellyfish on the label there. Okay, it comes in at 55.1% ABV, and on the front of the label it says luminous spiced sweetness surges from storm-tossed layers. Okay, this is lightly peated stocks from ex-bourbon casks. Okay, so you wonder if it's first fill or second fill. Well, on the back, they do mention first fill bourbon, okay? But the way it's worded, this is exactly how they say it. First fill ex-bourbon casks give layers of luminous flavor, blah, 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 blah. So it doesn't say exclusively, first fill. So I would assume it's mostly first fill ex-bourbon. So, and this is lightly peated, and it is lightly peated. So to me, if you're interested in, the Talisker distillate, in their purest form, without peating, the peatiness or the slight smokiness, then this is a different experience, very much so. So this Talisker 11 retails for about $125. Okay, and this is an 11-year-old. In comparison to the Klein Leash special release, which was $195 for a 12-year-old, this appears to be quite the bargain. And last year's special release was the Talisker 8-year-old, and that retailed for about $105 to $110, which at that time I thought was quite pricey. So last year, for sake of argument, the 8-year cask strength was, let's just say, $110, $115. So they've gone up another $10 to $15, but they've also given you 3 more years of maturation here. Okay, at some point in the future, in the near future, I am going to be doing a comparison between last year's 8-year-old and this year's 11-year-old. But today we're going to be focusing on the 11-year-old, but I am going to talk a little bit about the core range Talisker 10-year-old. Okay, so on the nose, compared to the core range Talisker 10, the nose is much more subdued. Okay, so you have to do a little bit of digging in here. But on the nose, you are getting a little bit of peat. You're getting a hint of smoke, a little bit of peat, but it's not pronounced. You're getting vanilla, mint, a little perfume, a little bit of that candle wax. Okay. Yeah. The palate is not overwhelming considering the cask strength. Okay, this is not hot or spirity like the Klein Leash was. This is very easy to sip just as it is. I have played around with water. Personally, I prefer this one at the cask strength. So you're getting a little bit of that vegetal note, barley sugar, fermented fruits, a little bit of smoke, a little bit of salt, a slight pepperiness, a slight sweetness. There's a chalkiness to it, a little bit of mint. You're getting that oak spice in there. You're definitely getting the oak spice from those first fill bourbon casks, and you're getting a little bit of floor cleaner, you know, in a good way. One more time for the finish. The finish, I would say, is like a medium to medium plus. And a couple of drops of water, it will open up a little bit again, but I prefer it neat. So compare it to the Talisker 10 core range. The Talisker 10 core range, the note you're really getting that peat, that vegetal peat, is really much more pronounced. You know, and having the core range 10 after the cask strength, it does taste a little bit watered down, but Talisker 10 on its own, it's at a great strength. You can probably tell that, you know, the Talisker 10 compared to the 11, the Talisker 10, there's definitely some artificial coloring in there, you know. So it's hard to compare the 10 against the 11 because the 10 is more peated, a little more smoky. The nose is more pronounced, but it's a different animal, or in this case, it's a different sea creature. So I've done previous reviews in comparison on the 10-year-old to the Lacheg 10, so you can look in my archives for that. So I'm really not here to give a review on the 10-year-old, except to say that the major difference here with the 11-year-old, which I've already stated, is that this 11-year-old is more in the purer form with less peat, less smoke, more cask driven than the core range. So it's a much different experience, and it's a much different experience from the 8-year-old as well, which we'll get into in the future. In a future video, we'll compare the Talisker 11 to the Talisker 8. All right, score-wise for me, okay, I am not disappointed in it. It is a different creature than the 10-year-old. I like this. Let me put it this way. I am more impressed or less disappointed than the Klein Leash 12-year-old. Okay. So my score on this, and I think in time this is going to open up quite nice. because when I reviewed the Talisker 8 from last year, I believe I gave it like an 87 to 88, and it did open up quite nicely, and it really has come into its own over time. So I think this one will benefit from some oxidation as well. So I'm going to give this a solid 87 to 88. And I think in time, this could be a solid 88. But for now, 87 to 88, it's definitely a step up from my enjoyment from the Klein Leash. So if you're looking for that cask-driven, much less peat-dominant Talisker in a more pure form, then it might be worth the experience. And compared to the Klein Leash 12, this is a bargain. I mean, $125 compared to $195 for 1 year age difference. You know, it's doesn't make sense. All right, so that's my score. I'm sticking to it. And Henry, you want to say goodbye to everybody? What a good kitty. He's just been purring away here, sitting on my lap. He's such a love bug of a kitty. He's so nice. All right, folks. If you like today's show, please give it a paws up, like, and subscribe. Consider becoming a Patreon with the link in the description below. And remember, folks, from Henry and me, it's just whiskey. So, cats off to you all, and take care, folks. Say goodbye, Henry.